Is Pokemon a turn-based strategy JRPG? Yes and no. It offers turn-based strategy gaming, yes, but it does not seem to offer much in the role-play aspect. And this is probably just, well, another sense of why some people have gotten frustrated with Pokemon games with each new generation as of late. Myself included, because it offers the illusion of choice. But no matter what your personal input, however minor, the results are always the same. The only real choice you have in a Pokemon game are the Pokemon teams you choose to run and the moves they have, and how you choose to execute a battle to its conclusion.
Is there more to us than the words we say, the games we play? Can we know that we're not dreaming?
First, we need to define what a JRPG is and what an RPG is, which is simple. An RPG is short for a role-playing game, whereas JRPG is short for a Japanese role-playing game. If one looks up what a JRPG is defined by on the internet, the general consensus is that a JRPG tends to be more grind-heavy and much longer than other RPGs, and often share a much deeper storyline than what other RPGs tend to have. A role-play game is, as it sounds, a game where you play a role in it, and your choices have impact on the world in it in various ways, big and or small. And a JRPG is similar, but it has way more grinding work and is meant to last far longer than what a normal RPG is supposed to last. So, what does this mean for Pokemon? Pokemon is classified as a turn-based strategy JRPG, right? Why am I so frustrated with Pokemon in this regard? Well, that's it. As far as it is a JRPG, it is only that by sheer definition. In truth, nothing you do in the game will matter, as the story is the same regardless from start to finish. Your impact on the world in the game is completely ignored in the grand scheme of the game. Yes, you save the world. Yes, you become champion. Yes, you do all of these things. You catch a legendary Pokemon capable of unbelievable feats, but the world doesn't react to it really. A few key characters react to your actions, but those actions are the same for every player that goes through the game. The guy who saved the world with the god of all Pokemon, and a shiny god at that, a family-friendly version of a Lovecraftian cosmic horror entity that created the entire universe and represents but a tiny fraction of the true entity, gets treated the same as the person who somehow saved the world with a level 1 Focus Sash Magikarp. Your impact on the world through your actions also don't get any reaction. No matter your choices, everything will play out as if you made a preferred choice or the choice that was expected of you. Taking Scarlet and Violet as a prime example, despite how it was promoted saying things like go where you want, choose your own path, do what you really want to do the most, you don't really have much of a choice in the matter, as all the main paths, Nemonas, Arvins, and Pennies, are required to be completed to unlock the final area of the game, and it's even required for the DLCs. While this isn't inherently a bad thing, it's the fact that nothing you do while carrying out these missions matter in the world you play in. If, for example, you tell Nemona, no, you don't want to be your friend, she won't stop saying how she won't accept your answer until you say yes. She doesn't change her opinion on you, even if from the start you said no at every opportunity to tell her that no, you don't want to be her rival, friend, anything more than an acquaintance. In fact, for the Cascarafa gym, your task is to take Kofu's wallet to him. Even if you say no, you don't want to, the receptionist will basically say, oh, but I can't leave the building, so do this for me anyway, and hand you the wallet despite your protests. As a prime example of your impact on the world around you through your actions, you remember the randomly placed roadblocks that are supposed to stop you from progressing that Team Star sets up? Yeah, well, you can just go around some of them to get to your destinations without any hassle. Plus, nobody seems impacted whether Team Star is there or not. Nobody mentions anything, even passively, about how, say, a trainer forced Team Star to remove the barriers allowing travel. None. None whatsoever. Also, characters in the world don't react to you or anything you do. Even if, for example, you run full speed at someone on top of Miraidon or Koraidon and bonk into them, they just move on as if nothing happened. In fact, if you try and block someone's path for whatever reason, trying to block their path, trying to roleplay being a jerk, they will just eventually phase through you and vanish. You can't talk to them and, interact with them. You can't say anything like, what's up, what's going on, nothing. They don't exist beyond their walk cycle and whatever line of text they have. When it comes to endings, well, there's only one ending and everyone gets the same ending. No matter who you are, where you are, in Pokemon, it's the same ending for everyone, regardless of your personal choices. The only changes are the Pokeballs and Pokemon you use to reach that ending. Other JRPGs like Persona, as an example, offer multiple endings, offering replayability, allowing you to make other choices and see outcomes for the world in your game, but not in Pokemon. But let's look at an example of character choice affecting the world around you done in another game, Star Wars: The Old Republic. During the game, you visit a world called Kashyyyk, and in order to get to the surface, you need permission from the Wookiee leader. But you won't get permission because they need you to do something first. Chundar, the Wookiee leader in charge at the time, wants you to kill an enraged Wookiee exile. But it turns out this Wookiee is his father, Freyr, who was fighting the Zerka Corporation to stop them from enslaving Wookiees. You have a choice here. You could do as Chundar asked, or turn on Chundar and help Freyr, turning on the Zerka Corporation and helping the Wookiees resist slavery. If you side with the father here, Zerka is overthrown and are absent in your travels there from then on. The Wookiees are now fighting for their freedom, and you are seen as a permanent friend of the species. But the father is mournful because he had to kill his own son. If you side with Chundar, you are locked off from now on and are not welcome back because you're an outsider. Zerka continues to operate as when you arrive and enslave the Wookiees, with Chundar continuing to help them provided they keep him in power by selling him weapons and minimizing their slaving efforts on Kashyyyk. In another game, Deus Ex Human Revolution, one of the first moments where your actions have impact on the world and story at large is when you are faced with a hostage situation. You can try the most direct approach, pulling the trigger and maybe you fail to save the hostage, or you can try to talk. Make this guy holding the gun see reason. Let him release the hostage and make his own escape. Later on, the hostage taker, out of a sense of gratitude for you letting him go, gives you some information that can help you with a case you are currently working on. If you had killed him or successfully incapacitated him, he wouldn't have found this information to sneakily give it to you in the back alley out of a self-imposed personal debt to you. These are the results of your actions, your role in the game that affects the outcomes, however minor or important, and can imply far-reaching repercussions than the immediate aftermath may entail. Pokemon does not have this for the most part. Even if you tell everyone you don't want to be a champion, their reactions are basically, oh, but talent like yours shouldn't be wasted, and then basically tell you to proceed to the next gym. Heck, even Gita says it best when you try to say no to going to finding the Terra Turtle here. She will basically say, well, I'm afraid I must insist that you would go along as well. You have no real choice in the games, and there's no alternate endings because of your choices. Like, when I found out that Arven was desperate to save his dog Mabosstiff, I rushed to find the remaining Titans for the Urban Mystica my first time playing through it. But what if I didn't rush? What if I was too late, or took too long to help? Like, yes, the Urban Mystica helped, but it wasn't until all 5 were in his system did Mabosstiff truly improve his health back to his old self. It wasn't until multiple were in him did he show signs of improvement. Like, what if, as an alternate ending to Arven's storyline, what if we don't make it? What if my Bostiff, about to die, because it loves Arven so much, it undergoes an evolution in its final moment into a Houndstone? While my Bostiff is gone, it would live on as a Houndstone, still loyal and still as loving to Arven, still his friend, deep down. He would be sad that he couldn't save my Bostiff, but at least happy in that his friend is still with him, no matter what form he takes, and grateful that we tried our best. Remember, there's more than one way to view evolution. One's outward appearance may drastically change, but deep inside, they're still the same. Remember, your friend is your friend, no matter what clothes they wear, or what form they take, or what they look like on the outside. Deep inside, they're still your best friend. This is an aspect of role-playing games, giving the player agency in their role in the world to affect it with their actions and choices. Like, what if you refused to accept Miraidon or Koraidon when the AI professor asked you to look after it? What if you gave it to Nemona instead? Or what if you didn't heed the professor's advice to gather reliable allies before going into Area Zero, and instead went in alone with just Arven? Or what if you only just recruited Penny or just Nemona? Or what if you just went down by yourself? And regarding its grinding nature, Pokemon is hardly a game where the story relies on you to grind. With exception to Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, where some of my viewers have said they were overleveled and still failed gyms, or even Cynthia herself, you get overleveled fairly quickly and very easily, unless you do everything in your power to avoid battles and EXP. The only grinding aspect involves the endgame stuff, where you're trying to get stuff for competitive Pokemon battles. If you ignore that, the game ends with the storyline. While we may have differing opinions, for the more adult fan base, we'd like more choice in the Pokemon games. We'd like to see our choices mean something besides, a single line of dialogue change. Or, seeing Nemona go cave woman until we say yes. I think also, deep down, we're tired of always becoming champion of the region. Yeah, the champion rank is new, but let's face it, we're still the strongest trainer in the games. Let us pursue other goals or dreams in the Pokemon world. Let us try becoming contest star winners, or let us pursue another path while the rival becomes the champion. Heck, why not make helping the professor become the primary goal of the game, similar to Legends Arceus, filling out the decks and becoming his apprentice? There are other paths besides the champion of the region in the Pokemon world. An RPG is to start you off with a character that is a blank slate, and through the game, you paint the character into what you want to roleplay as. You want to become an anti-hero, someone who goes about doing good, but through less than good means? So be it. You want to become an archangel of justice and an upholder of good? Go ahead. You're willing to commit evil deeds in order to defeat a greater evil because the ends justify the means? By all means, then do what you want. That is what a role-playing game lets you do. But for the Pokemon protagonists, they are a blank slate, and in all honesty, they remain a blank slate in that they always end up the same. The strongest trainer in the region who can never lose and does no wrong. And that, honestly, is one major change Pokemon needs to do from now on. Give us more agency. Give us more player choice. Let our choices have some impact. Let them matter besides a funny dialogue that won't ever get referenced again later on. But this is, of course, just my personal opinion. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comment section. Like, comment, subscribe, and help the channel grow. And more importantly, to see Iono go crazy from you smashing the subscribe button.
When you've reached the point where you can't go on, just come to me, you'll be you trust in me, then I'll trust in you. There's nothing more that I need to do. If you put your hands in front of mine, we'll be shining through one